If you've been struggling with interviews and you just don't know how to answer the question, tell me about yourself, this is the perfect video for you to watch. The question, tell me about yourself, is a bit deceiving, right? On the surface, it seems like they just want to know what's on your resume. But really, what they want to understand is why you're such a good fit for the company. So don't take their questions at face value. Instead, try and understand the intentions behind what that company is looking for. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to actually answer this question and what most, if not all, of these job seekers get wrong when it comes to answering this one simple question. Okay, so let's bring it back, right? So let's just put ourselves in the employer's point of view. Anytime you're in an interview, you never come from your perspective. You always come from the employer's perspective. Why would they want to hire you? Why do you help them save time? Why do you help them save money? Why are you worth the money? If you do not have those answers, then that is the first problem, and it doesn't matter what question they ask, you're not going to be able to answer it efficiently. So when you actually answer, tell me about yourself, this is what you need to do. That question is actually answered way before you're in an interview, or at least it should be. You should have researched the heck out of your interviewer, the company you're at, etc., etc. Because let's say your company values AI literacy. They want you to be proficient with AI. Then guess what your background's gonna be? It's all gonna be about AI. If you go into an interview and that company wants you to talk about AI, but they don't blatantly tell you, and you say, hey, listen, I have been, doing a lot of different internships at different companies, and I do a lot of projects at different, class projects for my school. But one thing that has really remained in my life is AI. I am someone that uses AI across all the different jobs I've had, all the different internships, projects I've done. One of my first projects, it was an internship. And at this internship, I used AI to actually automate 90% of the department's work streams. It was something that they really loved, and they're still using it to this day, right? And that's the way you would answer a question like, tell me about yourself. You're not just talking about I was born and raised and this and that and I went. No, they don't care about that stuff. They want to know why you're a good fit for their company. I don't know what your company values, right? So, and neither do you. So you need to figure that out. When you are going into an interview, think about the industry that they're in. Think about the trends that are happening in the marketplace today. Think about what your boss specifically does. Look at their LinkedIn, look at their bio, look at the description of what they say they do. Then go into that interview with that in mind and say, listen, at my last job, at my last internship, I was someone that was really efficient with Excel. I know that Excel is something that your company values. I've seen that all over the site. I've seen that over the job description. And I can tell you, you're not even going to have to train me on Excel because of how efficient I've become using it in all of my classes and all of my internships. I'm someone that's really good at Excel. And so what you do is you weave in your skills and you talk about the past, right? You give examples, you give stories. One time I used Excel for a project I was working on. I actually had to create a market map and find all of the biggest players in software, and I had to build an entire contact outreach Excel file, and the company used that file to reach out to those software companies. It was a very important project. I used Excel a lot. I used a lot of if and functions, and I learned a whole lot about sum if and all of these different functions to help me actually speed up my processes. But it was something that really helped me actually automate a lot of what this company needed. And see, that's how you answer these questions. But you cannot pitch unless you know what the person values. And that is the problem almost every job seeker that is in an interview is doing. So please, for the love of God, stop pitching without understanding what they want from your answers. This goes for everything. When they ask for your strengths and weaknesses, when they ask, tell me about a time you had to be a leader. All of these are in the same bucket. They want to know how you are a good fit for their company. They want to know how well you solve the problems at their company. That is why you're getting paid, is to help them solve problems. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you really got to understand what it takes to answer that question. Tell me about yourself. And if you need additional support or help, make sure you reach out. I do one-on-one coaching. I can help you as well. I've helped a ton of clients get jobs, get past their interviews, get a lot of different things. So thanks for listening, and make sure you stay in scope.